Hello viewers, welcome. Today in this video I'll be discussing Macbeth, the tragedy of Macbeth. In this video I will discuss Act 4 and Act 5. In previous videos I have discussed Act 1, Act 2 and Act 3. So let's begin Act 4. So what happens in this Act 4, Scene 1. In thunder and lightning, three witches stand around their cauldron. There is a cauldron. They are throwing in boiling pot various ingredients that might complete their charm, their magic. They sing their eerie song as they move around the cauldron. The witches chant, double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. They are waiting for arrival of Macbeth. Hecate also joined them. Hecate is the queen of witches. Soon Macbeth comes there and asks the witches to provide him the required information. The witches urges him to put his questions. The witches ask him whether he would like to hear the answers through their mouth or through that of their master or God. Macbeth decides on the latter, means he will take answers from master. Soon an apparition arises. Apparition means ghostly images. An apparition is of armed head. This is the first apparition. The apparition symbolizes Macbeth himself. Macbeth begins to ask his questions. Now he is stopped by witches who say that apparitions already know the questions. Don't tell anything. From the armed head comes the warning that Macbeth should remain cautious of Macduff, the Thane of Fife. Macduff was very loyal to King Duncan, and he was Thane, and he can be threat to Macbeth. This is told by witches, and we can say that ghostly images of witches. Now what happens? The next apparition, the next ghostly image is that of a bloody child. This tells him that he should be bloody and resolute and fear none who is woman born. It means no man who is born of a woman can touch you, can harm you, or can kill you. So now, hearing this, Macbeth is very happy because he thinks that every man is born of woman, so there is no threat to his life. Then the third apparition arises. It bears a tree in his hand. Now, this tree bearing apparition is saying that this apparition tells Macbeth that he would not be defeated till the Birman wood move towards the Dunsinane. Dunsinane is a location of Macbeth Castle, and Birman is the wood nearby. Wood means jungle, so Birman jungle is there outside Dunsin's hill. So this apparition tells us when Birman wood will come to Dunsinane hill, then only you can be defeated. And Macbeth sees that the wood can never come to hill. His castle is in hills, so this is also impossible, and he will never be defeated by anybody. Macbeth is anxious to hear more, but the witches refuse to oblige. They say, okay, it's enough, now we are going. Now he asks whether the children of Banquo will be kings. Then there arises before him a procession of 8 apparitions, all of them Scottish kings, who are the ancestor of James I of England, followed by the ghost of Banquo. Here what happens? When Macbeth is asking that is Banquo's son will be king, then the ghost of Banquo arises there, and he is followed by many kings, many images of kings who will be his descendant. And in this way, witches want to tell that yes, descendants of Banquo will be kings, and these kings are ancestors of King James I of England. When this play Macbeth was being performed and written, the King James I was king of England, and this descendant of Banquo were his ancestors. So now what happens? The sight of this sight worries Macbeth because he never wanted that children of Banquo will become kings. After that, the apparitions disappear. The witches sing a song and then they too depart, they vanishes. It is clear that they have carried the orders of Hecate, their queen, to lead Macbeth to confusion. Now, Macbeth is totally misled. Is not able to know the true meaning of these words, what is said by witches, although he believes them perfectly. Now, what happens? While Macbeth is thus troubled in his mind, Lennox, another soldier, comes there, and Macbeth asks him if he had seen the witches. Have you seen witches? I have seen it. Then Lennox says, no, no, I have never seen witches. On his part, Lennox tells him that Macduff has run away to England. Now this is time to worry for Macbeth. Macduff, who was Thane of Fife and who was loyal to King Duncan earlier, and he is still loyal to King Duncan, has run away to England. And this turn of event naturally troubles Macbeth greatly. He has intended to kill Macduff before he could pose danger to his life. But the flight of Macduff has poured water on his desires. Even though Macduff has fled, he decided to kill his wife and children. Now, what happens? Macduff goes to England to meet Malcolm. Malcolm is elder son of Duncan, so they want to make some plans so that they can fight with Macbeth. So he's away for that. Now Macbeth has become a serial killer. He is ready to kill Macduff's wife and children. Now scene 2. Here what happens? Lady Macduff and her children are in Macduff Castle, and Lady Macduff is critical of her husband's plight. He is very worried. He is telling that why my husband has left us here. We are not protected here, and he has left us. This is not done. She is telling. She regrets his decision because he has put his wife and children in a great danger by his flight. Now Ross, who is with her, tries to reassures her, and tells her that no, don't worry. Macduff know what is good for the country. He says that Macduff is fond of his country, and he is doing everything to protect his country. His country is Scotland, so don't worry and just have faith. Now, he then leaves, promising to return again. He lives there and he said that I will come again. Now, Lady Macduff and her little child speak about the tyrannies of Macbeth, that how Macbeth is such a cruel king and he is being trouble to everybody. Soon a messenger come to warn them, but it is too late. The messenger comes and warns them that you should go away immediately because your life is under threat and you should flee from here, and otherwise murderers of Macbeth will come here and they can harm you. Now they are overtaken by murderers. Murderers come. The young son bravely defend his father before being murdered. He says to his mother, "Don't worry, mother, I will fight." He asks his mother to run. She does so only to be followed by murderers, but she is not able to run away because she is captured by murderers and they are murdered mercilessly. Now scene 3 begins. Before the castle of King of Scotland, King of England, Malcolm and Macduff are talking. They are talking with each other, and this is a castle of King of England. Now King of England is also supporting them to fight against Macbeth. Malcolm wants to test the fidelity of Macduff before he may commit himself. So Malcolm is suspicious now because he is elder son of Duncan. He thought that maybe Macduff is emissary and agent of Macbeth, so he may harm me. So because Macbeth has killed his father, and he may have sent Macduff to kill me. So he is testing Macduff. And Malcolms ask Macduff that both of them should search for some lonely shed where they could weep out their trouble. So we should go to some lonely place, there we will have discussion, because um, because if anybody will hear about us, will be not be good. But Macduff seeks revenge against Macbeth, so that the sad plight of the country could be brought to a speedy end. Now Macduff is very restless. He is no mood to waste time, and he's telling that I am very unhappy with my country condition. I want a speedy heal. Now, to test Macduff's loyalty, he says that if he is able to regain the crown, he would prove far more tyrannous than Macbeth has has ever been or ever could be. Now, Macduff is testing loyalty for himself, and he is saying that Macbeth is a very cruel king. But when I will be king, I will be more cruel and more bad than Macbeth. Then what you would do? Now, hearing this statement, Malcolm discourages Macduff, who finds Malcolm neither fit to govern nor to live. Now, now Macduff is a very true man, and he is telling that if this is the condition, and if you think that you will be more cruel and will more bad king, then you should not rule Scotland, and you are not fit to live in this world also. So this proves that Macduff is a genuine man, and he is not a sycophant. This convinces Malcolm of the loyalty of Macduff, and he pledges himself to restore peace and prosperity in Scotland once again. Then now he is convinced that Macduff is a good man, he is a genuine man, and he said, don't worry, friend, and I and you will come together, and there will be support of King of England, and together we all make a large army. They made a large army of 10,000 soldiers, and we will fight back Macbeth, and we will restore prosperity to our country. Now, after this, Act 4 ends. Now we will come to Act 5. Act 5, Scene 1. Here what happens. In Dunsinane Castle, Lady Macbeth, physician, her doctor, and her maid is waiting and discussing about the strange disease of Lady Macbeth. Lady Macbeth has begun to walk in her sleep. She used to sleepwalk. The doctor wants more information about her sleepwalking, but the maid is reluctant and to disclose anything, because maid is just a servant, and she had heard many things which she should not have heard, because in her in her sleepwalking scenes, that Lady Macbeth has revealed that how they had murdered Banquo and Duncan, Lady Macduff, and her son, and many people. So now she is just a servant. She thinks that if I will tell anybody to this happenings, my life will be under threat. Now the servant says, now see, while they are talking, Lady Macbeth comes there carrying a candle in her hands. She is sleepwalking, and she is looking morbid. She is very serious. Her eyes are open, and she is rubbing her hands together as if she want to wash something out of them. And she is washing and washing, unaware of what she is saying. And she talks about the bloody murder of King Duncan, the slaying of Macduff's wife, and Banquo's trial, and Macbeth's burial, and killing of Chamberlain, and every other murders, as if she is addressing to her husband. And she says that what has been done cannot be undone. The physician is appalled. Now physician is horrified by what he sees and listen, and says that Lady Macbeth does not need the help of surgeon, but she needs diviners. Now doctor says that she is a murderer. They have murdered many people, and now no surgeon can do anything for her. The person who can do anything is just God. So they should seek help of God, not me. And he asked the maid in waiting to be more careful about her mistress, lest she might harm herself. Now doctor says that keep everything away from that like Lady Macbeth, by which she can do harm to herself. She can kill herself. So don't keep anything like dangerous, like a knife and all those things near her. And by after saying that, that doctor is talking to himself that after this I will never come to this castle. Even if I will be given so many golds and many money, I will never come back to this castle, because if I will come to this castle, my life will be in danger, because they are not king and queen, they are murderers. Now scene 2 begins. In scene 2, what happens here? Uh, in the countryside near Dunsinane. Dunsinane is a location of Macbeth's castle. Castle is a palace. So, English and Scottish forces are forming themselves for the final assault against Macbeth. So, all they are fighting and they are making arrangement. English and Scottish forces, and means even the many people from Scotland have mixed with English people and Malcolm and Macduff, because they are fed up of Macbeth. On his part, Macbeth has fortified his castle in order to defend himself against the attack. Now he is thinking that my castle and my palace is very strong. Nobody can attack me. Nobody can come through these castles. The Scottish lords are filled with hope and entertained their English allies with rumors that no one any longer served Macbeth from either a sense of law or loyalty. So now many people have left left Macbeth, because they are fed up of Macbeth. Macbeth is very cruel and is not a good king, and he is suspicious of everybody. He is bad for everybody, so everybody is leaving him. And if even if somebody are with him, they are somebody is with him, they are not there with heart. They are just posing to be with him. Now scene 2 begins. In scene 2 what happens, and in scene 3 what happens? um, in his castle, in his palace at Dunsinane, Macbeth is with the doctor and his attendant. He has been deserted by his former allies and former friends and supporters, but he is not afraid, and he takes courage from the false prophecies of witches. This false prophecies of witches is giving him strength, that he will never be defeated, he will never be killed, and he is in his false world. Hence, when a servant tries to impress upon him the size and proximity of the attacking armies, he gets nothing but a rebuke from Macbeth. Then a servant comes there and he tells that, Sir and Your Majesty, the Burman jungle is coming towards Dunsinane Hill, and this is a very frightful sight. I have seen that a jungle is coming towards us. Then Macbeth rebuked him that, what do you think? Can jungle come to hill? You are if you will be wrong, I will hang you to the tree. So he is very badly behaving with everybody. Then he calls for a Satan. Satan is some servant of Macbeth, one of his faithful officer, and means the officer is also a servant. And the agitation in his mind tells us that despite the security he tries to feel, he is not happy at all. He is not happy at heart, and he is worried. And he confesses to Satan that his life has fallen into bad days. Now his bad days has begun, and he cannot hope for anything like love, honor, obedience, and love of friends. He thinks that he is no more worthy of these things, and he is very frightened now, and he is a lonely person. Macbeth asks Satan to bring his armor, but he is ready to fight. And although he is not in mood to fight, but he can do nothing but fight. Then he orders him to hang all those people who talk of fear of desertion. Then he is still bad at heart, and he tells that if anybody is leaving me, and if you can get them, then you just hang them, you must punish them. Now Macbeth then asks the doctor about the condition of his wife, that how is my wife and what is what about her disease. The doctor tells him that her trouble are not mental than physical, and she is trouble are more than mental than physical. She is not physically ill, she is mentally ill. She is having some problem mentally, and hence what she need is not a medicine but a prayer. You must prayer, and your wife should prayer, then only can she will be healed. Now Macbeth feels angry at this, and asks him to throw medicine to the dogs. Now Macbeth said that if you cannot do anything, you must throw your medicines to dogs. Why are you keeping all those medicines? And the doctor remarks to himself that if he could escape from Dunsinane, this is the last day, and he will never return to this place for any fee, any gold, and anything. Now, scene 4 begins. Here, what happens? As Macbeth is praying himself for the final result against the gathering forces, and Satan brings him the news of death of his wife. His wife has committed suicide. This news makes him grief stricken. He is very unhappy. He is also deserted by emptiness of his achievement. Macbeth says that his life is a story that is told by an idiot and which is devoid of any meaning, and he is very unhappy now. And um, and Macbeth is now a broken man. His wife was his soulmate, partner of greatness, he told, and now he doesn't want to live. But when he hears the news of Malcolm attack, he is again filled with enthusiasm and courage. On the heels of the depressing news comes another news that Burman wood are moving towards Dunsinane Castle. Macbeth could never believe anything like that to happen. Now he comes to feel that his end is near, because but he's desperate for he decided that he would prefer death with his armor on. What happens when he listened to the news that Burman forest is coming towards him? Now he is able to think that witches has told him that if Burman wood will come towards Dunsinane Hill, then only you should worry. Otherwise, there is nothing to worry. So now he is ready to worry, and here what happens? Scene 6 begins, and in scene now the forces of Malcolm under the Now the forces of Malcolm under the cover of green leafy screens and the trees reaches near the fortress. Malcolm orders them to throw away their cover and give them orders for attack. Now here what happens? Malcolm has become a good soldier, and he's a good strategy maker, and so he told his soldiers that you take branches from tree, and you must keep those trees branches before you, so that Macbeth will not able to judge that our number of our soldiers, and he will be misleaded. So that is so they were in large numbers, and there are 10,000 soldiers, and they all are keeping branches of tree before themselves. So it seems that Burman wood is coming towards Dunsinane Hill. So that was the third prophecy of witches. Now we are in the midst of battlefield. Macbeth has left his. Now the forces of Malcolm under the cover of green leafy are coming there, and they reaches there. The Macbeth says that now this is time that we have come near the castle, so we must throw away our branches. You throw your branches, and Malcolm orders them to throw away them at a speed and give them orders for attack. Now this is time for attack. Now Now scene 7 begins. Now we are in the midst of the battlefield. There is a battlefield. Armies are fighting. Macbeth has left his fortress and come on to the battlefield. Come out to the battlefield to fight. In spite of his impossible position, Macbeth feels that he is secure because of the prophecies of the witches. Now Macbeth has not many soldiers. Many people have deserted him. His wife is dead, and he is morally weak. He is physically weak. He is weak, but still he is taking refuge in prophecies of witches, and he is thinking that according to witches nobody can kill me. According to witches, no, I can never be vanquished, and all these things are coming to his mind. While on the field, he meets a young Seward. Young Seward is a son of that elder Seward, and Seward is uncle of Malcolm. And young Seward, who he kills with his sword. And when he kills that Seward, that soldier, he tells that you are born of woman, so you can't kill me. So he is boasting that I am very courageous, I can kill everybody. His easy victory against the Seward convinces Macbeth of his invincibility at the hand of man. Now he thinks that witches has told me that no man can kill me who is born of woman's womb. Macbeth leaves for another part of the battlefield now. Macduff comes there searching for Macbeth. Macduff is very unhappy for Macbeth, Macbeth whom he is determined to kill because he thinks that Macbeth has killed his wife, his children, so he is very unhappy with that. Now he passes on, and shortly afterward, old Seward and the Malcolm come there. They decide to enter the castle, and they are entering the castle of Dunsinane. Now here, scene 8 begins. Now, in this scene, what happens in another part of the battlefield? We find Macbeth speaking against suicide as a means of escape from the ills of life. Soon, Macduff confront him, and they fight. That Macbeth is still sure of his invulnerability because he feels that he cannot be killed by a woman born. So Macduff challenges Macbeth, Macbeth says that you can't kill me because if you are a man, you are born of a woman. You can't kill me because I have been told by those witches. Then Macduff tells him that your witches are liars. But Macduff give him the shock of his life when he tells him that he was ripped from his mother's womb, and thus he proves that he is not a woman born. And he tells that I have come through C-section, that cesarean operation. So I am not the person who is born naturally the way you are telling. Now Macbeth curses the witches who has deceived him, who has thrown everything into air by the ambiguity of their prophecies. He was misled by their ambiguous statement. Now he realizes the foolishness of his belief. He decides not to fight with Macduff, but on Macduff's challenges, he desperately decides to fight. So he is in no mood to fight, but his courage is left. But when Macduff challenges, he can do nothing but to fight against Macduff. Now they leave the stage, brandishing swords against each other. They are fighting with sword. Now, old Seward is moved to sorrow to hear the news of his son's death, and he is very unhappy that his son is killed by Macbeth. But he is confronted by the fact that he died bravely like a true soldier. He died fighting against Macbeth. Now Macduff now enters with Macbeth's head. So there was a big fight between Macduff and Macbeth, and Macduff killed Macbeth, and he cut his head, and now he is carrying Macbeth's head, and he presented this head to Malcolm. elder son of Duncan. So Macduff now enters with Macduff's head and hails Malcolm as the king of Scotland. Now Macbeth is no more. You are king of Scotland, and Malcolm promising each due recognition that I will make all of you. I will make earls. Invites all of his. Coronation at a school. So now they decide that there will be coronation soon, coronation, and he will be king. And this ceremony will be in Scone, the place in Scotland, and everybody is invited. So he became king, and everybody was happy. Prosperity restored in Scotland. And so this was the story, and hope you like that. And I have made all those videos. I will give it in a description box, so you must watch all these videos. And I hope you like this video, and if so, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Thank you so much.